Hello, and thank you for joining me. This is Pam Harden, POA Consulting, extended pitch for ENT 645 at Western Carolina University. POA Consulting LLC. POA Consulting will offer residential real estate developers in North Carolina a packaged professional service to form a nonprofit corporation for their subdivision property owners association. This idea was born in Watauga County. The business concept is still definitely in the infant stage. My husband and I purchased 2 lots in a subdivision called Signature Ridge in Watauga County. And at the time we purchased our lots, the subdivision was in foreclosure. The story of Signature Ridge is a developer came in and bought a fairly large tract of land and divided it into 18 lots. That developer borrowed money from BB&T for the subdivision. He put in the infrastructure, the roads, built a bridge, took utilities to each lot, underground utilities, so it's a fairly nice subdivision. He sold 1 lot, and then the Great Recession hit and the market crashed. BB&T, the lender, foreclosed on the developer and took back the property. So out of 18 lots, 17 of those were sold out of foreclosure. So in 2014, all the lots had been sold, and us and about a dozen property owners found ourselves in a subdivision with no developer and no property owners association. So that's the way this business concept got started. The business of real estate development starts with usually a fairly large tract of land that's undeveloped. Undeveloped means it's nothing's been done to it. It's in its natural state. And the developer will come in and put in roads, hire a surveyor to subdivide the lots out, and market the property, put in utilities, and some developers will build homes on the lots and sell the lot with the home. Other developers, like at Signature Ridge, just sold the lots, and then the homeowner or the property owner would have to build their own home, so it just depends. But that's the business in a nutshell. Terminology: a lot of people use homeowners association in exchange for property owner association, but they mean about the same thing. I prefer the property owner association because it better describes the landscape of things going on, because sometimes there's not a home on the lot like what we found in our development. The need. Why do you need a property owners association? POAs maintain essential common area amenities such as roads, bridges, because if you don't have access to your land, it really is going to be hard to hold the market value or build a house on that property or even get to your property. They also govern restrictive covenants. Restrictive covenants are rules that the developer comes up with and works with a real estate attorney. Those are filed at the Register of Deeds in the county where the property is. They can be very basic or they can be extremely detailed. Some of the very basic examples would be things like square footage requirements. So when you build a home, are you going to have to build a 25,000 square foot house or a 1,000 square foot house? And it does make a difference. If you're a property owner in a subdivision and you followed the rules and you build a 2,000 square foot house and somebody came behind you and built a 1,000 square foot house, that's probably not going to work out all that well for everybody involved. And they can be, as detailed as sometimes you see them up to what color the front door is or the mailbox is. So it's a wide range of things that restrictive covenants can encompass. A lot of times they will have setbacks and things like that in them. So if you are going to build a home on it, it would have to be so many feet from the road, so many feet from your neighbor properties, and things of that nature as well. In the absence of the developer, like we found in Signature Ridge, in a foreclosure situation, sometimes the homeowners or property owners are going to have to find it necessary to form their own association. So that's what we ended up doing. POAs are necessary. They are time consuming. They do involve a detailed process, but they also allow, in a normal situation where there's no foreclosure, it would allow the developer to end their responsibility for the subdivision once everything's sold or a certain number of the properties are sold, and move on to another subdivision or just get out of it altogether. Benefits of Property Owners Association, we talked about how they enforce the restrictive covenants. In our situation in Signature Ridge, we're actually changing some of the restrictive covenants. So, that you have to have a quorum, and those rules would be set out in the initial restrictive covenants. They also maintain common areas. For example, some places have clubhouses or swimming pools or tennis courts, walking trails, and things like that. To have all this maintained definitely maximizes property values. It also minimizes maintenance responsibility. So one homeowner isn't, for example, mowing along the entire road that you hire a landscaper with your money pulled together to do that. Or if you want easy living, you can move into a condominium association and everything outside of your home is pretty much taken care of for you. So you have some more leisure time. Property owners are members of the association, and they do elect a board of directors. Members or property owners pay assessments. We do pay a fee every year, and that does cover expenses. In our subdivision, we're particularly concerned about keeping the road maintained and a lot of the grass cut and things like that. So expenses can include landscaping, maintenance of roads. If you have a pool or a common area, clubhouse, sometimes you would need insurance for that. We have hired a attorney to help us amend our restrictive covenants, so we've pulled our money together for that. And in some gated communities, you may need a security guard or somebody to man your gate. The service plan of POA Consulting would provide these types of services to our clients. We would file the Articles of Incorporation with the Secretary of State, and that's what would actually create the nonprofit corporation. We'd also obtain the tax identification number, provide a corporate seal, assist in drafting and editing bylaws. Bylaws would be things that would set out your officers' terms of office, some other rules that might govern that board of directors. We would help establish a bank account, develop a budget, provide a roster of all the property owners association in the association, and that can become some kind of difficult because in our situation in Signature Ridge, we had to go and actually look up who owned the property because there was no organized effort. So we could also assist the property owners in conducting that initial meeting, that formation meeting, and doing everything correctly and electing their officers. To conduct an industry analysis of what the future of development or real estate development might look like is the supply chain of the industry consists of several key economic drivers that would include home ownership. Obviously, there's not going to be a need for POAs if people aren't interested in home ownership. Housing starts, new construction would also play a factor. Unemployment rate would be tremendous factors. We would want people who could pay for these things, and it looks like the adults over 50 are a big target market for this segment. And housing starts are expected to increase strongly, which would represent a potential opportunity. More industry analysis. Adults over the age 50 are really drawn to communities like this that have amenities because it just provides more leisure time for them and less worry. The largest consumer of homeowners association is this group. They want leisure activities, events, and a little less responsibility probably. Baby boomers will cause the over 50 market to increase, and there is an estimated 65.7 million Americans that live in associated governed communities, and that's according to 2013 data from the Community Association Institute. POAs are the most common in the Southeast United States, which is good news for POA Consulting, and Florida represents the highest share. Over the next 5 years, real estate market's expected to strengthen, and housing starts are expected to rise strongly, and unemployment is expected to continue to decline, which are all good indications for the industry. Market share of the industry is low and confined to operating within a local or regional scope. I have found just 1 or 2 small businesses that offer POA type services. The industry is fragmented and regionally based. I don't really know of too many people who are doing this on a national level. And there's quite a few homeowners associations in the United States, so it's not a foreign concept, and the average association has about 80 homes per community. Our clients are going to be the real estate developers and they're going to need to be in North Carolina because I haven't learned how to incorporate anything in another state at this point. We are targeting medium to small subdivisions because we think the larger ones would probably already have all this set up, and this audience is generally, in my experience, has been males. The psychographics and behavioral traits of our clients that we are looking for would be integrity, trust, people who can pay their bills, professional, pleasant to work with, have the ability to actually do this, and skills and knowledge and contacts, and also to be able to obtain financing. These large tracts of lands to develop are not inexpensive, and there is quite a bit of expertise that goes into putting in roads, utilities, and things of that nature. In studying with this class, I have kind of separated out clients and consumers. The clients would be the real estate developers that would actually hire me and pay my fee, but the actual consumers that would use this service are definitely the property owners, and that's whether they're buying a vacant lot and building their own house, or they have bought a lot that already has a home on it. There are some consumer psychographics. Now, I find this kind of interesting, but I certainly understand the anxiety that could result in this. If your roads aren't maintained and there's no infrastructure in place, like basic things like water, sewer, and power, your property values are going to definitely decline if you have to have a helicopter or a Hummer to get to your land or to your home. That's not going to help your property values more than likely. It is a niche marketing effort. It's a bundled fee for service, and it's a very specialized service with a narrow market focus. Haven't found where all these people, these real estate developers, are pulled together or herded into one spot, so that's going to take some effort to find these people, and the competition would be real estate attorneys. In a search for lead, these are the things I would need to do is network with county offices. My research has indicated that these developers do have to file for permits and things like that to develop this land, so county offices would be an area to look hard at. Homeowner builders associations would also be another one that might be able to generate some leads, just word of mouth. And in reading more for this class, direct mail and phone would definitely be something I would look at. Web and social media presence is a strong possibility as well, but there would be quite a few things I would leave on the table in the marketing effort, and that would be probably print, television, and billboard ads. And even reading more about social media, I'm not sure Facebook would be a good area to pursue either. In designing the logo, I went with green. Light green, it does represent the land, and the black lettering is easy to read and reproduce. I created this in PowerPoint. Did design a rack card in Publisher, and it is very basic. As you can see, this is a concept business at this point, and I did get that into some kind of PDF and into PowerPoint with some effort, but it did work, and there's the rack card. Our competitive advantage in pricing would be convenience. This would be once you've got the process down. It is a fairly convenient thing to do. And price would be a factor because the paralegal rate would be about half of what an attorney rate is. And just of note, when we did the Signature Ridge development, I did not ever have to go to Raleigh or Watauga County. All of it was done remotely, virtually, email, US mail, conference calls, and things like that. So I never did actually have to leave my home office in Asheville, North Carolina. It would be a startup of a very small cottage business run out of a home office in my home, a one-woman shop to begin with, and I'm estimating it would take less than $5,000 to begin, but I'm not exactly sure of that, but I don't think it'd be a huge upfront initial investment. The conclusion, it still is in concept and still trying to figure out, is this viable? Would it generate any money, or just a dream at this point? Thank you for listening. I welcome your feedback.